Imagine you had the power to put a voice in your spectator's head. Well, you can do exactly that with Mental Voice 2 by Umesh and Black Box Creations. Welcome back to another review on the Magic Alon channel. My name is Alon. I'm a magician, mentalist, and a community owner, and you should check out my community for free in the link in the description. All the information is there. It's amazing. It's fabulous. I'm here for another weekly review, and I just want to say I really hope I get to keep up these reviews every single week, but there might be a small delay because fun news, this is my last review from this studio with this amazing background. I am moving to university this week and I'm going all the way to Paris. If you're all the way a magician in France, hit me up in the comments below. So there might be a small delay as I get adjusted and settled in France. But I still wanted to give you a review this week and of this fabulous item by Umesh. Thank you so much for sending this to me, Umesh, because Mental Voice 2 is crazy. I've had the honor to have this for quite a bit of time and play around with it and really try and get some performances out of it, and this is quite powerful. Now in this review we're going to talk about everything from the tutorial to positives to negatives to angles, but if you are new to this channel or you still have been watching but you've never done it, make sure you smack that subscribe button because it really means a lot. I'm trying to put out content all the time and it really takes quite a lot of effort, so your support is everything to me. On that note, you're probably asking yourself, what on earth is Mental Voice 2? And it's 2, not 1. I'll start off by saying I never owned the first one, but I have done my research a little bit to see some differences I can tell you, but I will mainly tell you guys about the features of this current one because that's what's important, because this is the newer one and it costs the same as the old one. And I don't even know if they sell the old one anymore. So what on earth is Mental Voice 2? So essentially, this is a bone conduction device, and I'll show you how it looks like very soon. But imagine this, essentially you can make your spectator hear a voice in their head and with their ears fully closed, so the sound in their mind is just coming from within their mind. It can't be possibly coming from anywhere else, except thanks to bone conduction, it really can be. This sort of thing is absolutely amazing for pre-showing absolutely anything from like celebrity names, cards, to whatever you could possibly imagine, because yes, this is fully customizable and we'll talk about that soon. This is really also good to doing stage performances because you can do kind of this dual reality thing where the spectator in their mind, they will tell everybody in the audience that they're really hearing a voice. And there's this cool thing where you can do is if you're a male performing, you can put a female's voice. So you could say, you didn't hear my voice, or a guy, right? Some other guy, and they say, no, 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 no. And it creates this cool dual reality because if you're performing into a large audience on a stage, it absolutely slays. But bear in mind, this can absolutely work in close-up environments too. And they genuinely do hear voice in their head thanks to the bone conduction technology. And what's really cool is with this device, as you will see, you can upload pre-made files and sounds thanks to the offline mode, but you could actually also, you get an app, which we'll talk about very soon. And thanks to the app, you have so many features where you can actually use online and they can customize this live on the spot whilst you're performing to any celebrity, any card, whatever. Literally, the possibilities are endless. You could also control the volume that they hear it. In the offline mode, you can also store about 512 megabytes of storage and voices, which is plenty. And you can change the tracks within. So if you have different ones for different situations, you just press a single button and you're done. And just to show how it looks like, inside the box, you get the tutorial right here, but you're also gonna get this nice USB-C charging cable. But if you cannot do USB-C, well, they're absolutely amazing because in the box, you're also getting this incredible little piece which lets you change USB-C to USB, this nice adapter. So very cool that they include that. And then of course in here you have the nice device, as you can see. The device itself has this really nice silicone, this flesh colored mold, so you can really nicely palm it without it being seen. And it's really, really good for palming, especially if you do coins, you can actually understand how you palm it. And then this part actually transmits the sound which you put behind the spectator's head. So you would be holding them like this, their finger like this. It's kind of hard to demonstrate on me, on one person, and they'd be hearing the sound whilst they're essentially closing their ears. You're able to control the volume right here, louder and stronger. Here you have the turn on and off button, and also to change modes and tracks. And that's essentially it. It's really simple to use in terms of that. But there's a lot of really cool features. Also, here you can simply charge it, and the electronics are really well compact. It's quite a good size. As you can see, it's quite small. If you compare it to AirPods, for example, this is the size of an AirPod case like this. So you can kind of get a good understanding of the size, and really, really well made material. So let's jump in straight into the tutorial. Now, this isn't usually my favorite because Black Box Magic Creations make some of the coolest products right there. As you can see, I did an amazing review, which you can check out right here, of the Cosmos wallet, an insanely brilliant printer that I highly recommend, and you can really check out that review. But the problem with that printer tutorial was that it wasn't so advanced, and we'll talk about the negatives a little later. But essentially, you're getting two videos, but they're only 40 minutes, and as you'll see, I would kind of expect a little bit more, but maybe in the future they will add more. But let me tell you, so in the tutorial, it starts with, first of all, before the video tutorials, you get, like, for Android and iOS, because it works on both Android and iOS, the app at least, you get this little, it's not a video format, which would maybe be more nice, but you get how to install it. But it's really simple installation, so I get why they put it on a file in this little document, and you pretty much learn how to install the app. Just bear in mind, the app is on test flight for iOS, so that means it's like in beta testing, it's not on the App Store, but really that doesn't change anything, it's not that important. And I do believe that they're putting it on the App Store very soon, if not already. And on top of that, you also get this, which is pretty cool. You get like a file of reference audios, is what they call them. So like pre-built audios that you can add to this device from your computer, with like cards and celebrity names. But the only issue of that is I'd probably not advise and recommend. I'd personally never use that because they sound a little bit robotic, but it's nice that they give you that as a bonus anyways. But as you'll see with the online mode and the app, there's no need whatsoever because it's really easy and cool to do. The first video is about 15 minutes long, and you've got a tutorial, first of all, on unboxing. So everything you get, they show you the device itself, they show you all the functions that I told you, how to use it, all the buttons and everything, how to charge it. They give you all of that information. Then it's really just important information on how to use the device, as I said, how to charge it, when the lights turn on, what color, when you're charging, how do you know all of that. And then you're getting information on how to do the loading onto the device offline, which is really good. So how you plug this in, it's simple. You just plug it into your laptop or computer or something, and boom, you can simply drag and drop MP3 files only onto the device in the folder, and done. You can add as many tracks as you want until the storage ends, which is, as I said, 512 megabytes, and that's it. Then it's loaded and saved permanently on this device, so you can theoretically perform this on an airplane when you don't have Wi-Fi, and you just turn it on and you can switch to whatever track you want. Let's say you want to force the 8 of diamonds. Now you're going to do your whole presentation, you send it to their mind, and they're going to hear someone saying the 8 of diamonds, and it's just going to come to their mind, or a celebrity, or a word, or a fruit, or a vegetable, whatever. Then they're going to teach you how to connect it via Bluetooth, because this is a new feature with the Mental Voice 2, this app, and it's legendary. Just via Bluetooth, and very simply, this will remember your phone, so you don't have to manually connect to Bluetooth every single time you want to perform. You only do it once at the start, and then it will remember your device, which is absolutely great. And that allows you to simply send information from your phone to the device straight away directly, and that's what they teach you next. They teach you to use the app and all the basics, and as you can see, there's a lot of features which we're going to go into right now. One of the things you can do here is as they do with literally the black with the Cosmos wallet, you have kind of two ways. You have a lock screen input where you can actually, this looks like a lock screen, but you put in numbers or whatever, and then boom, that is sent to the device. Or you have the notes input, which is my favorite because this literally looks like my home screen, and then I can press an app, and that looks like the Notes app, which is absolutely amazing. And now you could just type in Apple, for example, just like that, and when I click done, it will send to the device, Apple. And you can customize this with a lot of things. For example, you can add a delay, which is really useful for something like this, like a 5-second delay. So when you press the button, and then there's a delay, you get ready, you set up, and then they're gonna hear Apple. And you also have a feature called Echo, which is really cool because it will echo in their mind, Apple, 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 as if that voice is really trying to send them something into their minds, which is a really new cool feature of Mental Voice 2 that I don't think the previous version had. You also have really cool API input, so you can connect it to other apps, such lots of different apps that I've already also reviewed on my channel, and boom, they can input it on those apps and it will connect here right into their head, which is really cool and high tech. You can also import files directly from your phone, so from your phone you have files and boom, they get sent here, so you don't have to do the whole thing on your computer. That's kind of the old-fashioned way. The app is all the cool stuff now. But if you still wish to do the old way with the offline method, you totally can. Then you can even edit audio on here. You can cut, you can add sort of little things, you can mix it all up on the app directly, which is really cool. You also have things I haven't properly explored yet, like all these templates. So I've made I've kind of explored it briefly, like with a movie, and then you can force a movie in their mind, and you have all the settings here with like the echo effect. And then this is the craziest part. you can customize the voice. And this comes in with something really, really cool because they also have something here that involves AI. And this is using 11 Labs it's called. And you might need to get some credits, but actually it's like so cheap and you can do like 10,000, especially if you don't use this every month that much, then this is perfect and it's actually kind of free. And with 11 Labs, what you have is this really cool API key that you quickly connect from 11 Labs. You have to kind of install it really quickly. Unfortunately, in the tutorial, you don't get a tutorial on how to do this, so I had to reach out to Mesh exactly how to set it up. They briefly tell you in the tutorial, but not in too much detail, so it's not as perfect in that terms. But once you connect this API key to the AI, essentially with your templates, you have the ability to change the voice. First of all, you can change the language, which is absolutely incredible. So it could be literally nearly any language. And then after that, you have the crazy feature because you have all these different voices. And what's amazing about this is all these voices literally sound human. You even have a Santa Claus voice in there, as you can see right there, which is super, super funny and interesting, and I've loved experimenting with that. So they sound human. None of the voices really sound robotic or anything, so that's really good of a plus. But then on top of that, this is really cool. You can put the emotion. So you can decide if you want them to speak calmly, casually, classy, confident, formally, hyped, intensely, and based on that, you can fully customize what your spectators are hearing, which is really, really nice. There's also things like text-to-speech. There's card tricks that you can do, which we'll talk about in a second, like with Juan Tamaris's mnemonica stack. You also have a sensor feature, so they can type in on their own phone on notes something, and then they don't even have to give you the phone. They can just put the phone down, and by putting on the action of the phone down, whatever they wrote now is automatically sent to your device, which is also very, very cool. And a bunch of other features that you can play around with and you can see on the website page. Then you get a 23-minute video, which goes over all the important presentations, palming, all those kinds of ideas. So first, you have, I don't know his name exactly, I don't think it's Sumesh himself, maybe one of his friends. He teaches you how to do the palming, and he really compares it to palming a coin. He tells you how to do the handling, how you can ditch it, how you can take it out of your pocket when it's time, how to put it to someone's head and positioning it like this, which is really, really important, how to do it in stage and close-up environments. But all of this is really, really briefly explained in the tutorial, so it's really, really quick-paced. You're not getting it too much in detail, which is something I would have liked to see. And then it's kind of only, you're getting a lot of other bonus ideas, by the way, and a bunch of presentations, but they're only teaching you mainly one routine in detail, which is this ACAN, which is really, really cool. Essentially, they can just type in a number on the Notes app or on your home screen input. And then using mental voice, it'll input, and then you tell them, I want you to now focus on the card. You know, I want you to just, maybe you're gonna hear something, some voices, and you can present it as however much you want, however way you want. And then the app automatically tells them that card in that position because you have a stack. And here in this case, you have the mnemonica stack, and it's all automatic. You could just decide to turn on this feature like this and activate it, and boom, you are ready. That's kind of the main trick they teach you. Now, in terms of angles, you definitely want this to be hidden. It's really good that it's colored in this way, for example, so it is hidden in this really well high quality made silicone sleeve, which hides it. And in the tutorial, they do explain how you can hide it, how you can niche it, how to deal with your angles well, but you do need to be aware and careful of your angles. Of course, this is behind their head like this, so no one's ever going to see anything because it is fully covered by your hand. So the angles are genuinely really, really good, but I would remind you to be careful, especially when you load it and ditch it, because you don't want them to see this big device, which kind of ruins the illusion that they're hearing actually a voice from a device when you actually want them to be hearing a voice out of nowhere, out of somewhere, or a voice coming in from their own mind. So what are the positives? There's quite a few actually, because first of all, this is very, very convincing. Like, how is a voice getting into their head? That is quite special, but it's really important that you as a performer and the magician performs this really well to the best of your ability. You have to present it quite well. Otherwise, they will think maybe that you genuinely have some sort of speaker that's presenting into their head. But it doesn't really make sense because their ears are closed. Unless they understand bone conduction technology, this is quite fooling. I also love how the button presses are quite silent. Like, you might be able to hear it on my mic, maybe, but it's really silent, especially in a real performing scenario. They'll never ever hear it. And it's really cool that you can change the volume. That's something I'm really happy with, because sometimes it's too loud, sometimes it's too quiet. You can choose the perfect volume. The app itself is really amazing. There's so many features. It's really well customized. It's just like very similar interface to the Cosmos app, and I'm really happy with the way they made it. And I also love the way it connects with Bluetooth really, really simply, and it even tells you when it's connected. Like now you can see my app is not connected because there's a red dot. and the app interface is really easy to use. And the biggest positive, of course, is the voices can be customized, especially with the AI. It's really convincing and real. You're not just hearing this robot voice going 5 of hearts. That kind of gives away the method. It doesn't sound as good, it's kind of fake, and it's not as perfect. And I highly do recommend, and this is something that I don't remember they teach in the tutorial properly, but highly recommend if you're male, put in a female voice, because as I said earlier in this review, it kind of hints away from the method. And again, if you're a female, use a male voice. And finally, the gimmick is really well made. It should last for a long time. And if you have any problems, Umesh is really easy to reach out to, so they have amazing support with this, with Black Box Magic Creations, as they did with Cosmos, and I'm really proud of that. Now, some negatives. There aren't many. I was really trying to think of. There's only one which I kind of mentioned throughout this review, and is the fact that the tutorial isn't that long. Now, it's 40 minutes. So first of all, I have heard that the Mental Voice 1 tutorial was like around 18 minutes or something with barely any ideas. Now, for the price you're paying $200, and we'll talk about that a little later, but that's quite a hefty price. Like, it's quite a large sum of money for a tech piece. I would expect a little bit more ideas. You're getting this ACAN in high detail, and you're getting these bonus ideas, but it would be nice to see more performance videos that are actually live, from real live performance situations to the real public or layman, and seeing actually this played out in the real world with different ways, different routines, different exact specific instructions on different things you can do. But a few of my friends would also advise and tell me that it's really nice that they don't do that, because now it's up to you to create your own routines. But I think it's always better that they do give you more, because then it's up to you if you want to watch it or not. But it's always good to just have lots of routines. So maybe, hopefully in the future, they record some more. That's something that was lacking for me. So the question is, how much does this cost, and is it worth it? This is currently at $200 on Black Box Magic Creations website, but it might go up in the future to $250. So if you want to get it anytime, I think the time is now. It is an electronic trick, so the price is quite well justified. Most electronic tricks are ranged in this area, so I would say that, and especially for the quality of the product, yes, it's really well made, so I would think it's justified. But the better part is you're getting a really good app with lots of things, and of course the research and development of this took ages. I can imagine the pain and time it takes, so definitely it is worth it. And you're literally making someone hear voices in their head, so if you use it well, then it'll work. But with something like this of electronics, I highly recommend you do listen to other reviewers and hear their opinions and what they think about this, because this is, at the end of the day, your choice, and I think you should be making the right choice, and I really hope I'm here to help you make the correct choice for you, and depending on the type of performer you are. So without further ado, thank you so much for watching this review. I will be back very soon, hopefully, once I'm settled in university. Once again, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please smack that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on those notifications. All of this helps me so much. And of course, I'd be happy to hear in the comments down below, what do you think of this? Will you be interested in getting this? Do you already own it? I want to know all the details. Leave them down below in the comments. And thank you so much once again for tuning in, watching this video. It really helps a lot, and I wish you the best of the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Alon out.